Hello everyone, this is Agent Russ and welcome back to channel. In the last episode, we upgraded loot and item rarity, so combat rewards feel much more meaningful. Now we are going to improve the player's combat options. Instead of creating a separate ability bar, we are going to upgrade the existing quick bar into a unified action bar. That means the same bar can hold consumables, abilities, and later maybe tools or special actions. For this first version, slot 1 will stay as the health potion, slot 2 will become heavy strike, pressing 1 will use the potion, and pressing 2 will use the ability. Heavy strike will use a cooldown, and the ability will still fit into the same damage pipeline as our normal attacks. This gives us a cleaner RPG-style action bar without splitting items and abilities into a separate UI systems. Now let's go to event types file. Inside here we're gonna add event ability request. This event represents the request to use an ability. The quick bar will not directly apply damage. It will only say the player activated an ability slot. Then a dedicated ability system will validate cooldown, range, and target rules. Next, we are going to create a new file under data folder. We are going to call this file AbilityDatabase.js. Inside this file, we are going to say export constant AbilityDatabase. It's going to be equals to, we're going to have heavy strike, and let's set the values. So we will say ID is heavy strike, name, heavy strike, icon text, HS, description, a powerful melee attack against the selected target. We will have cooldown, and let's set this one to 0.3, range 2.75, damage, let's say 8, kind, heavy strike. This works like our item database. The ability is not hard-coded directly into the system. Instead, the system reads data like cooldowns, range, damage, and display name from this database. That makes it easy to add more abilities later. Now let's go ahead and save this file. Next, we are going to go to quickbar.js, and inside here we're going to make some changes. Instead of setting slot 1 directly to potion, we're going to get rid of this. Instead, what we're going to say, these.slots, and now we're going to set the slot 1, slot 2, and slot 3 and slot 4 are null for now. And we will also say this.cooldown for seconds remaining. So this is the main architecture change of the episode. The quick bar is no longer just a potion shortcut. Each slot now stores the key label, the action type, and the item or ability ID. So slot 1 can be an item, slot 2 can be an ability, and later any slot can become whatever the player assigns. Now let's go ahead and save this file. Next we are going to go to input.js. Right under here we're going to say this.quickbarPressed equals slot 1 is false, slot 2 is false, slot 3 and slot 4. And same thing we are going to do for quickbar held. So now we have quickbar press and quickbar held. And inside the clear frame flags, right at the bottom, we're going to say for constant slot key of object.keys, this.quickbarPressed, this.quickbarPressed, and we'll pass the slot key equals false. So this is cleaner than adding use slot 2 press or use slot 3 press and so on. Now quickbar input is grouped together in one object. Each slot can have one frame, press state and held state, which gives us the same press 1 behavior we already use elsewhere. Now let's go ahead and save this file. Next we are going to go to input system. Inside here we're going to make some changes as well. Right under here, instead of repeating the same thing over and over again for different keys, we're going to create a new function. Right in here, we're going to say this._update button, input, key C, toggle mode pressed, and toggle mode held. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for other keys as well. And let's make a comment here and say normal one press buttons. And under here, we're going to say unified quick bar or action bar slots. And in here, we're going to say this._update quick bar slot. We'll pass the input and we're going to say digit 1 and slot 1. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for other slots. And now let's go ahead and delete all these. And right under here, we're going to add those functions now. _update button. We'll have input, key code, pressed prop, and held prop. Inside this function, we're going to say constant is down equals this.keys key code. If is down and not input, held prop, input, press prop equals true. input health prop equals true, else if it's not is down, input health prop equals false. And we need to move this function actually inside the class. And next we are going to create the other function underscore update quickbar slot. It will have input key code and slot key. And inside here we're going to say constant is down equals this dot keys key code if is down and is not input dot quickbar held slot key input dot quickbar pressed slot key equals true, input dot quickbar held slot key equals true, else if it's not is down, input dot quickbar held slot key equals false. And let's go ahead and save this. This is a small but important cleanup. Instead of writing the same pressed and held logic again and again, we now have a helper functions. Normal buttons use update button and quickbar slot use update quickbar slot. Jump stays separate because jump has extra behavior like release state and input buffering. Next, we are going to create a new file. Under the system folder, we are going to create a new file and we are going to call this file QuickBarActionSystem.js. And this file is going to import system query player control input quickbar event use item request and event ability request. Next, we are going to create the class by typing export class QuickBarActionSystem extends system. Next, we are going to create the update function. And these are the settings for the update function. We query the player. We get input and quickbar components. We go through the slots and then we emit the events. Let's go ahead and save this file. This is the new bridge between the quickbar UI and gameplay. The quickbar does not need to know how potions heal or how abilities deal damage. It only reads the slot type and emits the correct request event. That keeps item use and ability use separate internally while still presenting them through one unified action bar. Next, we are going to go to main.js. Inside here, we're going to import QuickBarActionSystem. After that, we are going to scroll down. We are going to stop using the item use request system. So let's get rid of that. Instead, we are going to say world.addSystem new QuickBarActionSystem. And let's make a comment here. Say quickbar slot item or ability request. So this is how we avoid conflicts. We do not want both the old item use request system and the new quickbar action system responding to the same key. So the old request system is replaced by the new generic quickbar action system. Potion use still works because item slot still emits the same event use item request that item use system already understands. Now let's go ahead and save this file. Next, we are going to create a new system file and we are going to call this file AbilityCooldownSystem.js. This file will import system, query, quickbar, and then we are going to create the class and create the update function. And this is the code for the update function. So this system only counts ability cooldowns down. The ability system will start the cooldown when the ability successfully fires. Then this cooldown system reduces the remaining time each frame. Next, we are going to create a new system file, and we are going to call this file AbilitySystem.js. This file imports system, quickbar, current target, transform, health, death, ability database, event ability request, and event damage. After that, we are going to create the class by typing export class AbilitySystem extends system. We'll have the update function, and inside the update function, we're going to say constant request equals world.events.consume event ability request. For constant rec of request, constant actor equals rec.actor, constant ability ID equals rec.ability ID, constant quickbar equals world.getComponent actor quickbar, constant current target equals world.getComponent actor current target, constant actor transform equals world.getComponent actor transform. If it's not quickbar or it's not current target or it's not actor transform, continue. Constant ability equals ability database ability ID. If it's not ability, continue. Constant remaining cooldown equals quickbar.cooldowns ability ID question mark 0. If remaining cooldown greater than 0, continue. Constant target equals current target dot entity. If target is null, continue. If it's not world dot entities dot has target, continue. If world dot has component target dead, continue. Constant target transform equals world dot get component target transform. Constant target health equals world dot get component target health. If it's not target transform, or it's not target health, or target health dot current less than or equals to 0, continue. Constant distance square equals this dot underscore distance square actor transform target transform. Constant range square equals ability dot range times ability dot range. If distance square greater than range square, continue. World dot events dot emit event damage. Source is actor. Target amount is ability dot damage. Kind is ability dot kind. And right under here, we're gonna say quickbar dot cooldowns ability ID equals ability dot cooldowns. And finally, we're gonna create the function underscore distance square past a and b, and it's gonna be constant dx equals b dot x minus a dot x. Constant dy equals b dot y minus a dot y. Constant dz equals b dot z minus a dot z. Return dx times dx plus dy times dy plus dz times dz. So this is where the ability becomes real gameplay. The system validates target, range, health, and cooldown before doing anything. Only after all checks pass, it emits the normal damage event. That means Heavy Strike automatically works with our existing damage system, hit flash, damage numbers, floating health bars, and target HUD. Now let's go ahead and save this file. Next, we are going to go to Quickbar UI system. And inside here, we're going to make some changes. First, we are going to import AbilityDatabase. And in here, we no longer need the slot elements. So let's get rid of that from here. And inside the update function, we're going to keep that and keep this. And right here, we're going to make some changes. Let's highlight all these. And let's go ahead and delete. And instead of all that, we're going to say constant HTML equals object dot entries quickbar dot slot dot map slot key and slot. We'll have the arrow this dot underscore render slot slot key slot quickbar and inventory. Then we're gonna say dot join. Next, we need to create this render slot function. I'll go ahead and create the render slot function. So this is the first part of the code, and then I'm gonna scroll down, and this is the second part of the code. And we're also gonna change this create HUD function. And let's go ahead and delete all these. And instead, we're gonna say let root document.getElementById, and we're gonna have the quickbar HUD. If it's not root, we're gonna set the root and root ID, and then finally we're gonna append the child. So this quickbar UI now understands two slot types. Item slot shows the item icon, name, and count. Ability slots show the ability icon, name, and cooldown state. So the player sees one unified action bar, even though the gameplay logic underneath is still separated into item and ability systems. Now let's go ahead and save this file. Next, we are going to go to style.css. Right where we set all the other quick slot settings, we're going to say quick slot disable, quick slot ability ready, ability cooling, and ability cooling quick slot count. Let's go ahead and save this. This gives abilities a little visual feedback without redesigning the whole HUD. Ready abilities get a subtle highlight. Abilities on cooldown look slightly dimmed and show the remaining cooldown time. Now let's go to main.js. Inside here, we're going to import AbilityCooldownSystem and AbilitySystem. After that, we are going to scroll down. Right under here, we're going to say world.addSystem, new AbilityCooldownSystem. Let's go ahead and save it. And let's go back to QuickBar UI system. Right under here, we need to set the signature. So we're going to say constant signature equals HTML. If signature truly this dot last signature, return this dot underscore last signature equals signature, this dot underscore root dot inner HTML, and it's going to be equals to HTML. Now let's go ahead and save it. And we have the Quickbar visible. One thing I noticed inside the Ability system, where we set the Quickbar, I accidentally made it not capital. So this actually needs to be capital. And let's go ahead and save it. Now let's go back to main.js, and right under combat actions, we can say world.addSystem, new AbilitySystem. And now let's go ahead and save the file. Make the game screen bigger. We can see our new Quickbar, minor portion, and heavy strike. We can press portion and we can use it. And let's go ahead and kill the dummy. I'm going to press 2 for heavy strike. It did minus 13 damage. I can see under here it say none S. None S means this line receive an invalid value. So let's go ahead and check our code to see if we can fix this. So inside the ability system, right down here, instead of saying ability cooldowns, that needs to be cooldown. And let's go ahead and save it. Now let's go back to game and test it again. I'm going to press 2 and we can see the cooldown timer and it's ready again. And let's press again, minus 13. And we can also see the slight dim when the skill is in cooldown. And let's press 1 for health potion. And we can heal as well. Let's kill the enemy. And let's go ahead and equip an item. So we are going to equip bronze sword. That should add plus 5 attack. So instead of minus 13, it should be minus 18. All right, minus 18. Now let's try again. Minus 18. And we got 2 uncommon loot. So let's go ahead and equip leather armor. And we can also equip iron sword. That should do plus 8 damage. Let's try again with heavy strike. Now we do 21 damage. And our basic attack does 14 damage. And that's episode 40. We upgraded Quickbar into real action bar. Now the same bar can hold both consumables and abilities. Slot 1 still uses a health potion, but slot 2 now triggers heavy strike with cooldown. The important part is that the UI is unified, while the gameplay logic stays clean internally. Item slots still go through the item use pipeline, ability slots go through the ability system, and abilities still fit into the same damage pipeline as the rest of the combat. That gives us a much stronger foundation for future RPG combat, because we can now add more abilities, more slots, and eventually player customizable action bars without redesigning the whole system. If this was helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm Agent Ross. See you next time.